What item do you usually like starting?
I try to go for chest if I'm going for rebels because it helps with
Mm,
red buff and GA.
okay. So in this game, you're going with chest. I want to play rebels, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah, but the thing is, chess is also good for vanguards and for other comps as well, and it's usually very uncontested. So,
No, I agree with
um,
starting chest if
yeah.
you want to play rebels. That's a good call there. What comes to mind when you think of Nicoverse?
Uh, if whatever comp I'm getting, just get the forecast carry early, and then double Nico it so that I can win streak um until I basically gain such an advantage that like we can stabilize completely.
And how do you do that? How do you get the forecast early?
Push levels, and then after that, hopefully you get it in like stage 2 or stage 3.
So to be a little bit more specific, on
Mm-hmm.
Nicoverse, it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
roll at 7. It's much more okay than usual instead of rolling at 8.
Oh, that makes
Because
sense.
all you
That
need to
makes sense.
hit is one forecast.
That makes sense.
Now,
That
another
makes sense.
thing why rolling at 7 on Nicoverse is good
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is because other people might hit their forecast naturally, right? At level 6, they might get lucky, like whatever it is, right? They don't have to roll.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in this galaxy, people power spike a lot earlier than normal, meaning you're going to be taking a
Mm-hmm.
lot more damage than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another
Mm-hmm.
reason why rolling at 7 sometimes is mandatory, just to try to hit that one forecast.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes
Just something
sense.
to
Yeah.
keep in mind.
100%. So now I have a dilemma on should I pick brawlers or should I pick zigs or stuff like that.
So what to think about is kind of like what you need on the board, right? If you need tanky or if you need damage. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I would hold this Fiora up here, right? Because
Yeah.
that can be upgraded cybers, so this is completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Chain Vest isn't the worst thing.
Yeah.
So what I would take from here is I would take the Ziggs.
Okay.
Because then we have kind of like what can potentially be frontline with cybers and then try to take some damage with the Ziggs here.
With the zigs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's Malphite. It's between these two.
Yeah. Okay. I picked the wrong one.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. Because I was thinking to get Graves in case I found Lucian to get the
Yeah, I
Blaster
know.
synergy
So
going. Yeah.
that's like if you get dropped like a Leona or something here, then that would
Yeah.
change, right? Instead of Ziggs or
Yeah.
Malphite, then you pick up this or what you just
Mhm.
said, the potential Lucian Cybernetic.
So now I'm thinking I don't have much of a front line because
Mm-hmm.
Fiora doesn't have the cybernetic trait on her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't want to have Lucian pulled. But I don't want to sell Fiora to put the armor on Lucian because I don't actually have a red buff just yet, right? So
So you said something really, really good here, right? I don't really have frontline. You put in the
mhm.
mouth gray, that's your tankiest units. But there's something else that you can do here to give you a little bit more frontline.
Could I put in the Graves instead of Kog'Maw?
Yes, exactly. Graves over
Mm-hmm.
Kog'Maw. This acts as frontline because of his disable.
Yeah,
Making things like not being able to attack is essentially like having frontline. So Graves
for
over
sure.
this gives you a little bit more frontline, and then you have the Lucian.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah, that was. I could have even sold Cog actually because it's a 2 cost unit, right? And I
You
could have
can't
maybe
make you
leveled or
can't
something.
make no I so level I don't like okay if you get in
Mm-hmm.
games where you just see everyone leveling on 2-1 it doesn't mean you have to do it. It doesn't mean it's meta or like
Okay.
they're just I don't know, people sometimes don't think you only level on 2-1 if you know 100% you can win streak all of stage 2.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Now so don't worry about the 2-1 unless you know you can win streak. uh
Mm-hmm,
and then what will happen sometimes is you don't level on 2-1, you get the win,
mm-hmm,
and then you get an
mm-hmm.
insane shop on 2-2 where you can add in like a strong synergy. Then it's okay like to level there as well on 2-2.
Makes
You
sense.
don't
Yeah.
always have to go for the 2-1 level.
Like if I were to get cybernetics or something like that on 2-2, then maybe.
Like
But for now,
cybernetics
it's
with
yeah.
blaster synergy or like cybernetics
Mm-hmm,
with an upgraded vanguard, something like that. Now something quick on positioning. How do you think this can be
mm-hmm.
better?
How do I think? Put Fiora where Leona is, so
Mm-hmm.
that Leona can go up and tank, whereas Fiora can get hooked if need be.
Yeah, that's good. And something else I always like telling I've been saying this quite frequently lately is try because I see people putting them in the middle. put them to one side or the other. The reason being is you're more like, if someone else puts their units in the middle, then you're more likely to have all of your units focus one target. Rather than like
That makes
this,
sense.
like you might split up your damage. So if you're putting everything to one side, then if you have other players in your lobby who are putting stuff in the middle, you have the advantage. So Malphite is an upgraded unit, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're thinking. But actually putting in Vanguard synergy is stronger.
Oh,
So I don't know if you noticed the Mordekaiser in your shop here.
I did, but I thought that the 2-star was like greater than 1-star. Was what I was thinking basically.
Normally, yes, but when it comes down to Vanguard synergy, especially because Leona has Cybernetic, this Leona becomes much tankier. If you put Mordekaiser here, put Leona here, she's gonna tank a lot more than this Malphite is.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think, yeah, we can look at the Ziggs here. It depends if like I'm in the mindset of hard forcing Rebel. If I was, then I would sell the Graves to pick up the Ziggs if I got the loss here.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah, I was saving Graves for if I got red buff, because red buff without blaster.
Yeah, I understand, because that's a big power spike. So I also think like if you're not gonna be playing Rebels early, then it's okay if you don't 2-star your Ziggs, right? So you can keep this for that red buff potential. Do you see what's on this carousel?
Yeah.
You see this? Imagine if you held out to that Cassio. This would have been
goodness.
Blue buff Cassio, one Nico.
This is where I was thinking, should I put in Blaster or is Malphite better?
I would have. If you have red buff, I would put Blaster in here. It keeps your health higher. So I would put in Blaster here.
Okay, yeah. I was like, okay, maybe I'll just lost streak a bit more because I looked at like what the cybernetic buff gave me and stuff.
So here's where I can't really tell because you haven't scouted yet. But so what you can do here is scout when you want to keep the loss streak here. You look at the last like 4, 1, 2, like these 3 players. Can you see my mouse button or no?
I can't see your mouse, but like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the last like 3 players, right? Shino, Living Weapon, and Elode. Take a look at their boards and see how strong they are, right? Again, first look at upgraded units compared to yours. And then that's when you can make the decision of, okay, can I play Blaster Synergy to try and kill a few more units and I'll still lose? Or like, are they pretty weak where I shouldn't put Blaster Synergy in?
Yes, yeah, Vanguard is really, really strong. No.
So here I would sell the Zed.
Yeah? Okay.
Wait, you do it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice.
Okay. I actually did not know if I should do it or not, and it was just like I'm like getting gold here is really important because I don't know, like if I had one, maybe then I would have just sold the Ziggs or something like that. But then I was just like I didn't win, so
I'll give you a good rule of thumb, and I see a lot of like high challenger players kind of lean towards this as well. You don't want okay. Let me try wording it correctly. You can hold on to 2 cost units that you need for your build after your 30 gold. And you can hold on to 3 cost units that you need for your build after your 50 gold. So those are the margins you're trying to hit. So 2 costs you can hold after your 30, 3 costs after your 50. I really hope you pick up this Paranautilus.
Oh no. We'll see. Do I do it? Do I do it?
God.
Yes, I do it. Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh. Okay.
So that level up, oh wait, you did roll.
I did roll. Okay. Oh.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some things there. So the level up here I like because it keeps you at above 30 gold, right? And you're at 80 HP and you're trying to stay at above. You're just trying to stay high health, right? And you're adding in a good unit. You're adding in Vanguard. So this way you don't... Because the bad thing before is, yeah, you're adding in Vanguard synergy, but you have an upgraded unit sitting on your bench. So I justify this level up for 2 reasons. And this is what I want you to start thinking about as well when you're doing it on your own. I'm leveling up. I'm staying at above 30 gold. And I'm adding in a good synergy, which is Vanguard. Now, if you do roll... Do you pick up the Blitz here before you roll?
No, I don't.
Because if you're thinking Rebels... What's like the old school, like most common, like level 8 rebel build?
Yeah, it's the Blitz, Vi, Malphite, so that Blitz can get Jinx to
Right. It's
reset
the six. It's
essentially. Yeah.
six rebels with Blitz Israel, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if you are
yeah, yeah.
leaning towards rebels, you're keeping rebels in mind and Blitz Israel.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I find Ezreal like right next to it, so right afterwards.
Yeah. So that could have been something to pick up as if you know you're gonna roll there. Now, what
Hmm.
is? Can you tell like what's going through your head? Why do you want to roll here?
Because I feel like I'm already on like a 2 loss streak. I don't
Okay.
want to lose a lot more health. Especially if I want to go like at that point I'm like I want to do rebels, right? But I'm like if I lose so much health then I won't be able to stabilize in the late game. So it's more of like a panic roll. Well, it was more of just like a stabilization roll than anything.
I see. So I'll give you stuff to think about, okay? And this will take practice because I don't want you to panic and think like, oh, I don't want to lose too much. You need to get comfortable with losing HP being at this point. So you're at a 2 loss streak. So
Yeah.
to me, I wouldn't consider rolling because you don't have a win streak you're trying to preserve, and your board is actually not that weak. So this is when you were talking about like I'm not too sure about board strength. Look at what you kind of want to understand about cybernetics is that cybernetics with items are basically considered 2-star units. So if you look at your
Yeah.
board, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 upgraded units out of 6 with great synergies. Great synergies on top of it, great item. Red buff with blaster synergy.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
if like maybe what I would roll for here is if I was missing like blaster synergy, I would do 1 roll, 2 rolls to try and like get blaster synergy. But you already have a really good board, really good synergies, really good health. 81 HP is really good. And you're on a 2 loss streak, so I would actually try to keep this loss streak because I know my board is strong enough that if I were to lose, I wouldn't lose by much.
I was thinking of playing Vi over Fiora because it would give me Brawler as well, but then I didn't go for it.
No, it's 100% correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good thinking on your part there.
But yeah.
And you just swap, right? Like you'll roll the Fiora. Don't worry about that. You just want to try to go for strongest board. You're getting Cyber and Brawler, and then just throw the cloak on the Vi because that cloak can then be Ionic Spark on the Vi, which is insanely good, right?
At this point, I wanted to pick up the glove, but I was pretty sure I was not going to get it.
Guessing you still go for it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then now I was just like, what do I do? And then I picked up the forecast.
So here's where having a secondary item is good. Okay. In mind, basically, right? Because you tunneled in on glove and you didn't think about, well, what if glove doesn't get taken? So let's go back. And what would you take here if glove doesn't get taken?
Armor.
Why?
GA.
Okay.
Or GP if I were to get it, or like GA is just good on Aurelia as well, and other units as well there, because the other one was cloak.
Another option I'm thinking of is bow or Vayne for cybernetics. It can be Last Whisper. It can be Rage Blade. It can.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So I like the chest though that you said for a Guardian Angel. That's fine. So let's talk about that Zephyr Slam. I think it's fine, but I want to give you something to think about. Okay. When you're making this item.
She just made QSS as I put as effort.
Right. So when you're considering to make items at this point, so you're past the early game round.
Yeah.
Now, right? So you've made the early game item, 2 of them, 1 offensive, 1 defensive, right? These 2 is basically what you tried to make to keep healthy, right? Now the rule of thumb is on 3-5. It's basically getting to the stage of the game where you're deciding what build to go, and like what units you're gonna start rolling some forecasts soon, right? As you start going to level 7.
For sure, yeah.
So you're gonna start deciding what build you're gonna be going, meaning we want to usually be a little bit greedier starting from 3-5 with our items.
Okay.
Especially if you're at 81 HP at this stage, right?
Okay.
Your third pick, again, you just got a Nautilus 2 upgrade.
Yeah.
Now, I would be like I would lean more towards making the Zephyr if maybe you didn't get the Nautilus too. But you want to think of it as power spikes, right? Did I get a unit power spike? Okay, I'm good. Like, okay, did I not get a unit power spike? Okay, let me make an item to make up for it.
That makes sense.
So that's how you're balancing the two. Because you can be a little bit greedier here. Maybe go for the Ionic Spark, because that's gonna really help. Like if you can get that on Vi, on Echo later on, right?
For sure.
Zephyr is good always, so that's why I don't mind it. Like just slam the Zephyr, go for it. But I just want to give you like that kind of stuff to think about.
Is it valuable to scout early game as well?
It's important to scout in all stages of the game.
Fair enough.
And we talked about some of the things that you're looking for, right, in the early game. And then as you're going into the mid game, you're looking for power spikes, not only in terms of boards, you're looking at their comps, have they hit their forecasts, and then you're looking at gold as well as you're tabbing. So not only getting in the habit of tabbing through the 3 opponents that you're going to be facing, but quickly like go through using the 1 key to tab through all the boards just to see like what level is everyone and how much gold have they spent.
How aggressive is the lobby?
Exactly. It's going to give you an idea of how aggressive are people playing, because yeah, you might be in a meta where like it's consistent, but you never know like when it's going to change, right? And this will adapt you for when metas are changing, and then yeah, you get used to like, oh, people are going all in at level 6 for some reason, or everyone's being greedy going fast 8 for some reason, right? And then you can play based off of that. If
100%,
right, you're trying to match. But here's the rule of thumb: if you have nothing to do, right, where like you didn't pick up a unit, you're not adjusting, then this is where you're spending the time to go through your last 4 opponents and look at your possible 3 matchups coming up, because that takes quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have a like intense turn that you have to do, or you have to swap out your board, like you need to buy an Israel, put him in, and position quickly, what you want to try to do is keep an eye on the timer. When you get to 5 seconds, like ideally 7 seconds or lower, quickly just tab through all the boards. It doesn't have to be the next 3 you're going to be facing. Just go 1 1 1 1 1 on your keyboard, tap through all the boards, check Blitzcrank, infiltrators, quick positioning. And as you're getting more comfortable with this, it's becoming a habit that like 7 seconds or less, you're scouting through the boards and touching up your positioning. It doesn't have to be major adjustments, but like maybe putting a Blitzcrank bait, maybe swapping to the left side, because I want to give you a tip for when you want to play right side, when you want to play left side, because this, I don't know if many people know about this. I'm going to use this example that's on the board right here. You basically want to be on the side where their weakest unit is. So over here, he has Vanguard on the left and just a Riven on the right side. So what's the weaker unit to kill here? The Riven. So you would want to be on the right side. So as you're tabbing through the board, scout, are their weakest units on the right or on the left? And then that's where you can choose to position on which side.
For sure. And I guess it's really important with Aurelia too, because you want to get her that reset.
Exactly.
By killing the weakest unit. Okay.
Exactly. So that's something you're looking for when you're trying to determine which side you want to be on.
So I'm thinking whether I should put in the Aurelia now with the Infiltrator spat, or if I should keep the Lucian.
If since you don't have a replacement Lucian, Blaster synergy with the red buff is going to be doing more for you.
This is okay.
Oh, I see. You put the red buff on Israel. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, so what's going on through your head here? Are you still leaning towards rebels?
This Yi really baits me, but I was like, okay, what do I at this point in time? I mean, I got pair Lucian, so I was like, okay, this is great. But at this point, I was like, I'm not getting that. I did not find a single Jinx. And I mean, I didn't roll down at 7 yet, but I'm like, I didn't find a single Jinx. I didn't find, I don't have like Yasuo 2 or Yi 2 or even Zed 2, right? So I'm like, and I already have Infiltrator Spat Aurelia, so I'm like, okay, it's time for me to transition over onto Cybernetics.
So
and
if you're thinking of transitioning into Cybernetics, why would red buff on Israel not be good then?
Because you want it on Lucian.
You want it on a Cybernetic, right?
Yeah, and then you can sell that one for Echo,
Yeah, the biggest stabilizing point for Cybernetics is Lucian with the red buff. It's what's going to allow you to get through the mid game, basically,
For sure.
especially if it's a Lucian too. So that's why I wouldn't recommend this the red buff swap. This hasn't made your board stronger, right?
For sure, yeah.
And yeah, if we had that Lucian, you would have had Lucian too right now. I like the level up. That's fine. Why is the level up good here?
Maintain strength, get a higher chance of hitting Aurelia, and if I want to hit Riven, because I don't have Shen yet, so if I want to hit Riven, Aurelia, Echo, just in general, and also I'm on a loss streak, and you don't want to lose too much on stage 4.
At this point, yeah, there's one more. There's one more why it's good.
And you can roll down for 4 costs, and you have Pair Nar,
You only
which
go,
I don't know
because
why.
you only go down to 40 gold. That's why.
Oh, true. Okay.
If you went down lower than 40 gold here, I would not do it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, you're panicking. Okay. Okay,
yeah,
don't panic.
this is where you'll see.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. You're thinking about getting items on Cybernetics, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to stay calm here. You have to stay calm and think, for my comp to do well, I have to get this red buff on the Lucian. Do not panic and immediately think I need to get an item right now. Just be like, it's okay if I lose health. I made a mistake, but I'm still going to try to play my best board. I have an extra Israel. I can make this swap next turn, right? So the next turn, you throw in the extra Israel over this one, pop off the red buff, throw it on the Lucian. Zephyr can go on Vi or whatever other Fiora when we eventually play her, right?
Yeah.
Now
I think I do the swap next turn, but I think this turn I was just like, I gotta get something on Lucian.
Right. That's where you gotta stay calm and be like, it's okay if I don't get something on Lucian. Okay.
For sure.
And again, going back to the point of like, did you make your board stronger by playing this Aurelia? Not really, right? You don't have Blade Master synergy for her right now.
True.
You have Cybernet, that's fine. You put the info spat. She's not getting info synergy out of this right now. So there's like 2 synergies she's not getting. She's not benefiting. I mean, she's getting the cyber stats, but she's not benefiting from the info synergy, and she's not benefiting from Blade Master synergy right now. Let's talk about the Nikos, right? And the Aurelia. What's your game plan going forward?
So right now, what I was planning on doing was to level 8 at 4-3, because I thought that 67 HP is still pretty high. Right? Roll it down, see what I find. If I find an Echo,
I like that.
Then perfect, right? If I don't find an Echo, then I can
you slam. Perfect. I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if you are lower health here, if you are like 40 HP or lower, I would instantly slam the double Nikos. Okay, quick ordering. Ordering is very important here. Okay. You want to level, roll, and then do items.
Okay. Oh, level, roll, then items. Okay.
Level, roll, and then item. Because items you can do as the fight is starting. Level, roll, positioning, items. That's the order.
That was my bad.
What item is on your Leona right now?
Leona is redemption.
Do we need 2 redemptions?
Probably not.
Right.
No, we don't though. We don't, because 1 redemption is more than enough, and I think Leona is like tanky enough that she'll survive before basically dying out.
That's fine.
So I didn't know if Nautilus was
okay. You're really cutting it down to the wire here. Yeah, so basically what you need to be thinking about here is your Nikos, okay? So I like, yeah, what has to be going through your mind right now is like, I need to, this is the turn that I have to use my Nikos. So making sure you roll down to 0 gold so that you finally determine who you're using your Nikos on. Luckily, it ends up working out and you can double Nikos your Echo here.
Yeah, that was a very high roll. That was an insane high roll.
But yeah, making sure like you have a plan, right? As like each turn, before you go into the turn, like what do I need to do this turn, right? So as you're coming out of carousel, like as you're going into carousel, be like, what item do I need? What item do I pick up if I don't get that item? That's your game plan. As you come out of carousel, I need to roll down to 0 and I need to use my Nikos, right? So have that stuff on your mind so you don't end up in situations like this. And that's like, having that stuff in your mind is how you're going to get comfortable dipping down in HP. And then because now you're not panicking, you know exactly what you need to do. and you have a game plan. What makes me really happy, something, let me point out something you did really well, how you took the Gnar 2 upgrade. You needed upgrades. So some people here would tunnel on like a cyber build, like, oh, I need 6 cybers and a thresh echo. I'm gonna not look at anything else. But you took what the game gave you. The game gave you Gnar 2, you took the Gnar 2, great. You got vanguards, you got brawlers, strong front line, infiltrator are really good even without items. Echo 2, red buff, you're chilling. Do you know when is Shen useful? When can Shen be more useful than Riven 2? Like Shen 2?
To basically absorb Jin autos and to absorb Jinx, basically to prevent them from just dealing damage to your team early on. That's what I think, but I'm not
that's 100% correct. So again, scouting the lobby to see if like Shen actually gets value. If it's a bunch of like mechs, Sorks, Vanguard, Mystics, where Shen isn't really gonna help, then go for the Riven 2. Okay, let's take a look at your board. Right? What like for you, what's usually a stabilizing factor? Like what makes you feel safe? There's like a few things here.
So this it's basically prioritization. It's like if I have first, I want to have a strong front line, and then secondly, I want to have a strong back line, and then after that, I want to have good synergies, right? And obviously, they work together in tandem, right? So the reason why I was thinking is if I could upgrade Riven, right, then I could have the Blade Master synergy going for Aurelia, right? Because she's basically already got the Infiltrator, right? And obviously, if I could upgrade Wukong, he's just a great unit to have upgraded.
So good, fair points. Both fair points. Something like as a general rule of thumb is usually you want to stop rolling if out of all of your units everything is upgraded except one. So if there's usually just one unit that you need to upgrade, then you don't need to roll. But here we have to take something else into consideration. You have an Echo 2 with a red buff.
Yeah.
This is your stabilizing point. As soon as you hit the Echo 2 with the red buff, you don't need to roll. You go to level 9 with this.
Oh, okay.
Now, I guess I should put it as well because you have Aurelia too. So you have your 4 cost upgraded and you have your 5 cost upgraded. And you have a decent item on this Echo.
Yeah. Okay. And I think another reason why I did it was because I was at 35 health. And
you have to stay calm. Health doesn't matter. Your board is strong. That's what's important.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Quickly on positioning, you want to put the Fiora as the blitz bait, so in the corner, and then Vayne just to the right of her.
Okay.
Either on one side or the other. So Fiora here, Vayne here, or Fiora here. Sorry, you can't see my mouse, right?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Vi, I'll give you a tip about Vi, is you want her on corners, either left corner or right corner. And then just choose based on which way you want her to alt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So either left or right.
Because she ults the opposite end, right?
Right. The farthest target. She ults farthest target. So you want to have her on one of the sides so you can predict which side she's going to alt towards.
For sure, yeah.
And then the other thing is Leona, because she has redemption, you want to put her in a vulnerable spot where she will get value out of the redemption. So we'll keep a track on these fights, see how... This is what I like to do, like analyzing each fight to see, like, is stuff working the way it needs to be working? Are my redemptions getting value? Are they dying early or are they dying like the last units? If they are dying early, great, keep it where it is. If not, then you need to maybe readjust.
For sure, yeah, okay.
And then Gnar as well, again, depending on where you want it to alt, right? Something about Gnar. Do you know which way Gnar alts? Like what's an indicator for Gnar alting?
I think he ults the target that he's auto attacking, if I recall correctly, and he basically ults that target to the other side of the screen, essentially. So if he's auto attack, because right now if there's a lot of threats on the left hand side, right, it's perfect. But if there are threats on the right hand side, then this is useless positioning, essentially.
What can make him alt backwards?
Infiltrators, maybe.
If he attacks infiltrators, not if he doesn't attack them. There's one. It's really specific. But I want to see if you can think of it. There's a unit right now that can make him, like, as the fight starts, it can make him alt backwards.
Oh. There's one unit? Would it be Vi?
Sure, if he's auto attacking the Vi and the Vi ults before the Gnar
Yeah.
ults.
Yeah. So is
And
it like does this happen at the start of the fight that he makes it that he attacks them, that he starts attacking backwards?
Yes.
The
Not
start.
like
Mhm.
maybe like a second or two into the fight. Trying to give you
Oh.
hints.
Okay. What unit moves a second or two into the fight? Blitzcrank. No. Actually, yeah. No, I'm drawing a blank here.
Riven.
Oh, Rivet.
So
Oh
if you
yeah.
ever put Gnar in front of Riven, the Riven
okay.
will ult behind the Gnar, and then the Gnar will ult backwards. Now imagine if that Riven has QSS. Your Gnar ults nothing. It ults backwards because he's attacking backwards because Riven goes behind him. And then he ults the Riven and doesn't hit the Riven because she has QSS. So that's
and
the one unit you want to dodge at all costs. Never
Mhm.
put Gnar in front of Riven, especially if it has QSS.
And I guess if you're playing a Riven, put her in front of Gnar.
There you sure. There you go.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
The slight change I would have done here is I would have prioritized Chrono synergy over Brawler synergy. So I would have done Thresh over Gnar here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you mean
because you keep
over Gnar, yeah.
What's tankier? 2 Brawler or 2 Vanguard?
2 Vanguard.
Yes.
Because Brawler just gives her HP.
Exactly. So 2 Vanguard first of all is tankier, and you get Chrono synergy on top of it. And another way to think about it is this Riven isn't gonna fit in until level 9, right?
Yeah.
So might as well sell them, go 10 gold, and start econing up to get to 9. And then once you get to 9, you can worry about rolling and getting the Riven or the Shen. So someone in chat is asking, why does Echo hard counter Yi with QSS? Because Echo targets. Do you wanna?
Yeah. So basically, what happens is that Echo targets the target with the highest attack speed in his ulti, and his ulti reduces the attack speed. But the thing is, if Yi does have QSS, then his attack speed does not get reduced. So he's consistently going to be the one with the highest attack speed. Therefore, Echo will ulti them like 7-8 times essentially.
Exactly. Echo just keeps ulting the same unit over and over.
Yeah, and then he just gets demolished.
Exactly. Now, if there's a Yi with a QSS and it's 3-star, just get an Echo with a Giant Slayer, and it's hilarious. So you Zephyr the Teemo, right? This is great. You Zephyr the Teemo, you jump on the Jhin. Yeah. Perfect positioning. The Gnar on the left side to hit the Teemo. This was yeah. So because your positioning was so well, you kill this guy this turn.
All right.
So that's the kind of stuff you want to try to do intentionally, right? Zephyr the Teemo, jump on the other one, and then Gnar. By the time Teemo drops down, your Gnar is jumping on his face. So for both of these guys, your Gnar needs to go right side.
Oh, okay.
Right, both of them are right side. So this is easy, right? Easy swap. Put the Gnar right side. So what's your win condition at this point? Oh, win condition outside of positioning.
Win conditioner outside of positioning is if I get perfect Aurelia items, I guess, or if Thresh pulls in Urgots.
There you go, bench units.
Yeah,
bench units. That's what you want to start focusing on right now. Thresh pulling in what, right? So getting maximum Urgots, maximum Threshes, Lulus, Blitzcranks. Now, when you're in a 1v1 scenario. Here is I would try to guarantee the Urgot pull. So yeah, it's a 1v1. It's a win condition. Wukong over Gnar, sell the Gnar. Make sure holding the Thresh is fine because then Thresh pulls Urgot. That's fine. From everything we talked about today, what were the big takeaways?
Don't panic. Understand your understand your strengths, where you are the strongest. Understand what synergies work at what point of the at what time during the game, what items, like when to slam items, when to go for late game items versus early game items, and especially early game. Understand the different strengths of like Vanguard synergy versus Brawler synergy versus Blaster synergy.
Awesome.
And those are like honestly the main points. And for stage 3, 3-2, if you're only level to 6 if you are going to be above 30 gold or 30 gold, and for 4-1 level to 7 if you're going to be above 40 gold.
Nice.
And then if you feel like your board is strong enough, even if you're kind of low on health and you're stable, just wait
Be
until you go
confident
to
in your
9.
build. Be confident in your.
Be
Right?
confident. Yeah.
Once you have those upgraded units, know that your build can win fights.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaways for me were ordering.
Mhm.
So when to like prioritize the rolling versus the scouting. I want to see you starting to build that habit of the scouting we talked about, where you're doing your board placements and stuff in the first 20-25 seconds.
Yeah.
And then that last 7 seconds, last 5 seconds, you're building that habit of tabbing through the boards. We talked about what you're looking for. Blitzcranks, infiltrators, graves in the early game. As you start going to that mid game, what comps are people playing? What forecasts have they hit? How much gold is on their bench?
For sure.
And then late game, Omega sweat positioning. That's the most important thing in the late game.
Yeah.
And then yeah, know what you're trying to target.
For sure.
With Zephyrs and Shrouds and Nars and yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right. Awesome.
And the way I always like finishing these is there anything else you would have liked to see from me? Anything I could have done better?
No, honestly, it was very helpful. You asked me about what I was weak in, and then you basically addressed that throughout the coaching. And actually throughout the coaching, I felt like I was getting smarter with my decision making, right? And I was mentioning like the different things, and you were like, "Yeah, you agreed with me there." So it's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think I just need some more practice for the set because I have like 15 games, and that's not
I
like
think that's
really
it
enough.
as well. I think that's it as well. And start building those good habits that we talked about today.
For sure, 100%.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time for this.
No worries. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day for this, man. Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.